Hello and welcome to the Business of Blockchain. I'm Nisa Amoils at the New York Stock Exchange. Joining me today is Luis Oscar Ramirez, CEO and co-founder of Mawari, a company that is using blockchain technology for spatial computing. Welcome, Luis.
Thank you. Very excited to be here.
So for people unfamiliar with spatial computing and XR, what does this mean and why is there so much momentum right now?
So we have seen all in the movies holograms. We have seen AI, like Terminator, Ready Player One. We have a lot of movies where we reference this technology. Extended reality is the spectrum between virtual reality and augmented reality, which means overlay of virtual items in your environment. And spatial computing is all that makes that work around you.
Full disclosure, I am an investor in Mawari, so this is not investment advice. But what problem is Mawari trying to solve?
Okay. So first of all, today we see content in these headsets, but as you see, they are very heavy, clunky, and it's not for everyday use, right? But then we have these devices that are super slim for everyday use, but they have very limited processing power. So we need a solution that sends and streams content to these glasses seamlessly at the same quality that you would see them there. So that's exactly the problem that we've been solving since 2017.
Okay, and what does frameless mean?
When we see media today, you see it on a TV, you see it on your smartphone, all movies are on 2D, right? So that's a framed media. Frameless media is when that media comes all the way to your eyes and all the environment is actually interacting with the real world in the media. That's what we call frameless media.
So you don't use traditional streaming. What do you do instead?
So with 2D, we stream video, right? And it's pixels. And this has existed for more than 20 years. Right now, yeah, we have Netflix, we have YouTube, we have Zoom, all video conferences. But for AR and 3D content, we need a very different way of streaming. If I were in a hologram and you're seeing me from a very specific angle, your own point of view, but another person would be seeing me in a very different point of view. So it's a very different rendering, right? So streaming 3D means you need to distribute the compute and the application close to the end user. And streaming 2D was just distributing the content. So that's the main difference.
Okay, and where does blockchain technology fit into that?
Okay, so back in 2021, actually, we started gaining a lot of traction here in the US. Our partners asked us, okay, can we stream your service to hundreds of thousands of users? We assumed that actually that was possible. But then we realized, okay, so having distributed compute across all cities is not a simple problem. It is a business model and a scalability problem. And we found out that actually just distributed and decentralized compute was the best way to tackle this problem. That's where blockchain fits in. To distribute servers across all the cities, for example, in the US would be a multi-billion, if not $1 trillion investment. For a small industry that is today, it does not justify. But if we do it in the blockchain way, in which is a crowdsourced and community-led infrastructure, is much easier and faster to scale this infrastructure. So blockchain serves as the layer of transparency to align everyone into the same network.
Okay, and how do you use AI or AI agents?
As I mentioned, in the movies we have seen holograms, we have seen AI. So AI is right now we interact with ChatGPT by text. But in the future, we will interact with the AI by voice, by interacting like with real humans. So XR is the best user interface, the user experience for AI. So we understood that very early, and distributing compute not only for rendering but for AI is what we do as a core business. Now, think about an AI agent, a ChatGPT. If I had connected to me ChatGPT, you probably would like me more than it's just text, right? So this is what we're doing right now in Japan as a customer service agents that have a voice, but they also have a body and a face. And it is more relatable and more personable than actually just talking to a prompt interface.
Right. Okay, so you mentioned customer service. What are the main use cases of Mawari?
Okay, today in 2025, we're mainly working on the entertainment sector, virtual concerts in Japan and in Korea. And you've seen now K-pop Demon Hunters is a huge hit
Right.
worldwide. They are virtual artists actually, and the only way to meet them in the real world is through these headsets. So virtual concerts is one of our biggest use cases, and the other one is the creator economy. So from YouTube, now we have a trend that is called the virtual YouTubers. So these virtual YouTubers go on YouTube, Twitch, or any other streaming platform, but behind an avatar. The only way to actually interact with them in the real world is through augmented reality.
Who else can participate, for broad adoption for Mawari?
Our network has two sides, the demand side and the supply side. So on the supply side, it is the blockchain infrastructure that we're building, and anybody can participate. We have our Guardian nodes, but also we work with enterprise data centers. In the US, we have as a partner T-Mobile. In Japan, we have KDDI. And on the demand side, which is the content, actually we work with big IP companies. Especially in Japan, we're working with one of the biggest names of IP, and unfortunately due to NDA, I cannot mention who we're talking to here in the US, but it's also a big IP company. So think about when you see movies, IP movies, they have kids movies that are animated with avatars. It's obviously now very common, like just K-pop Demon Hunters, that kids want to interact with these avatars, right? So that's the current demand today.
So does decentralization give creators more control and new ways to earn in XR?
Sure, I think so. And it's more actually on the infrastructure side. So as we mentioned, anybody can join the network and run their Guardian node. So having actually contributing to the network, you have actually more say into what this network builds versus just subscribing to a service in which you just pay the monthly fee and that's it.
So right now you're targeting users that are outside the US. Is that because regulatory concerns?
Our current go-to-market is starting in Japan and in Korea. This is because the company was founded there initially, but also because it's an early adopter market for extended reality. So in Japan and in Korea, as I mentioned, we have animation and other type of IP that start from 3D and from the virtual, and it's very common for them now to accept this type of content. The US and the Western market is still there, but it will take a little bit more time. So in a way, our strategy is to show success in Asia and then come into the US once the business model is proven.
And so why should people care about this? What is the great potential of XR?
In the near future, we will stop using smartphones and we will just have smart glasses. Everything will be interacting with these smart glasses. And we're building this infrastructure very early. So think about Akamai. Akamai is one of the biggest content delivery networks and infrastructure companies today. They actually thought about the idea in 1994, before even the internet achieved the scale that we have today. So it's the same for us. Like we started in 2017 building this, knowing that at some point in the future, XR will be ubiquitous. And now we are very close to that future, actually.
Luis, CEO and co-founder of Mawari, thank you so much for joining us.
Likewise, thank you for having me here. Very excited to be here and ready to show you Miyoko.
Great.
I'm at the New York Stock Exchange.
Hi, Miyoko. Welcome to the New York Stock Exchange.
Hi, Nisa. It's a pleasure to be here.
I think this might be the first time we've ever had an avatar at the exchange.
Well, that's super exciting.
We can't wait to learn more about Mawari and have the rest of the world see you.
Well, check this out. You can see me everywhere around the world all at once.
That's amazing.
That's the power of Mawari. Thanks to Mawari, I can really connect with people from everywhere.
Well, I'm sure people from everywhere will look forward to interacting with you as well.
Thank you. And it's a real honor to be amongst one of the most influential women in Web3.
Well, thank you so much, Miyoko. Look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you for having me.
And that's it for today's edition of The Business of Blockchain. I'm Nisa Amoils from the New York Stock Exchange.